Somebody who has been working towards a goal or trying to be, a stand-up member of the community or the leader of the pack. This person has been working to draw in opportunities and get what they want. And then they look around and realize that maybe what they think they want isn't actually what they want. We have the labyrinth. Among the confusion of the twisting turns and the endless chase, will I find myself in the heart of this maze? So they've been a little bit overly influenced by others in their family or perhaps even in their social community, and starting to realize that it's important to be a little bit more focused on who they are and what they want as an individual. So let's call in spirit with a little bit of wind chime time. I hope you're having a wonderful day so far. If you're interested in a personal reading, I would love to do one for you. My email address is wickedwandstarot@gmail.com. That's in the description box for you, as is information on how to become a member. Thank you to the current members. Let's continue with, we'll go with the Morgan Greer. What else do we have? Seven of Pentacles, Knight of Rods or Knight of Wands in the reverse, and the Sun in the reverse. So acknowledging that what they've been working towards or what they have invested their time or energy into isn't really getting them where they want to be. So we have somebody kind of reassessing, is this the friendship group that I want to be around? Is this the relationship that I want to be in? Is this the job that I want? Maybe it's time to manifest something different instead of following the crowd or doing what other people expect of me. Hello, Sundar, how you doing? So we've got the Six of Swords in the reverse with the Page of Pentacles in the reverse. Maybe the issues that I've been facing have been because I'm in the wrong place or I'm working for the wrong people. Maybe it's time for a little bit of a change because whatever this is, it's not what I want, and I don't really want to be dealing with these individuals anymore. So this could be frustrating clients or a boss that just doesn't know what they're doing. It's just like it's time for a change, right? This just isn't where I want to be anymore. We've got the Five of Swords in the reverse, the Queen of Wands in the reverse, and the Ace of Pentacles. Hey, Zombie, how you doing? So there's this understanding that maybe what you've been manifesting or what you've been working towards has been not working out for you or hasn't been successful because it's not quite right. It's like somebody's adjusting their viewpoint or their perspective, looking at what would be considered a win or what is the right direction with fresh eyes and realizing that there's a different path available, something that they had not seen before. This could actually be about getting away from influences that are negative, or about identifying within yourself something that is a skill or a talent that could actually be used to build your own business. But whatever your decision is, I do think that for most people, they would make a different choice than you. I think most people would just kind of settle for whatever they're dealing with. But you know that there's a better opportunity for you out there that could be motivated by love. Maybe you want to move somewhere to be closer to someone else. Maybe you know you deserve a better relationship than what you've been dealing with lately. But this is showing you value where you spend your time. You're not going to just stay stuck or settle for whatever it is that you have currently. So this is the Cook's Tarot. Hello, Noman. So I'm reading a book from the 90s about storytelling. It kind of applies to what I do here, but I've always had an interest in literature. I think the author's name is Richard Horowitz. What about you? I mean, it's a star, hun. Stars have been used for symbols and a lot of things. So if you're trying to imply that that's me, you're off base. Hello, Naran. How are you doing? Hello, Joshua. Hello, Water Therapy. How's it going? Hello, Darmendra. Hello, Lisa. Hello, Christopher. So we've got the Three of Wands, the Emperor, and the Eight of Cups, but the Eight of Cups is in the reverse. So it feels to me like we've got someone thinking about whether or not it's time for them to travel elsewhere and make a different decision as far as their destiny or their living situation. The Eight of Cups in the reverse is interesting though, because it does kind of feel like a little bit of a homecoming, or maybe now it's a good time for me to try to live here, or maybe I'll go back to where I grew up, go back to, you know, where I had worked initially right out of college. There's something that is calling this person back or calling them away from where they currently are. Hello, Dennis. How are you doing? Hello, Phila on 13. I do take personal questions at the end of general readings and prioritize those that tip me, but I do like to incorporate some freebies now and then as well. Feel free to enjoy the general reading until then. Sorry, guys. These cards are really big and my hands are a little bit small. We've got the World and the Four of Pentacles in the reverse. This is like the world's my oyster, right? So there's so many other options out there, so many other things that I could potentially do. I don't want to just like limit myself to what's available in this local market, or I'm ready to like experience a different culture or region in my country or in my state. So maybe it's just time for me to, you know, apply for a couple different jobs or look for somewhere else to live and venture out into somewhere that kind of challenges me in a new way or in an exciting way, right? This is the Pulp Tarot. We've got Judgment, King of Pentacles in the reverse, and the Four of Swords. So the question is, if I have to make a decision, and I feel like I do, about leaving this and going elsewhere, what can I do to make sure that I have stability or that I don't have to fall into the same pattern? And I think this person is starting to realize, I'm going to refer to them as the Hermit, by the way. The Hermit is starting to realize that a big part of what wasn't working out for them was the people around them, whether that is like a meddling family member or a bad influence best friend, a codependent toxic ex. There's something here where leaving makes sense because then I don't have to deal with the chaos or the drama that is associated with that connection. And I have time to then address the healing that I need to. With the World in the reverse, I do think this is someone who's feeling like out of sight, out of mind, but also if I get a little bit of distance from what has caused some problems in my life, then maybe it'll be easier for me to work to build that new chapter or that new future. When there's like a change of scenery, it's a little bit easier to avoid falling into the same traps. So maybe they feel like their circle of friends or their workplace, the people that they associate with there, are just not very supportive in terms of their growth professionally or personally. Hello, Gnostic. Hello, Key Controller. Hello, Warrior. How you doing? Okay. Hello. How's it going, Look? That's an interesting question. Let's keep it above board, shall we? It's not really that offensive, so I'm not gonna like remove it or anything, but this is about tarot, sweetie. So we've got the Star in the reverse, the Nine of Wands, the Two of Wands in the reverse, and the Two of Cups in the reverse. I think for many of you, this Hermit is headed out on a chapter of like new destinations, new job, new living space, in part because there's been a breakup or a falling out with a major friend. For others of you, this is just distance with something to do with your family. Maybe you just don't feel like you want to be that close to your sibling anymore. Maybe you've had a falling out with your parents. Maybe you're just ready for a little bit more independence. But it seems like moving forward or moving out is the right choice. Hello, Daytona. How you doing? Hello, Turbo. I appreciate that. Thank you. What else do we have? The Hierophant and the King of Wands. I think this is somebody who's looking for a job, realizing that once they have that locked in, then everything else is a lot easier. They know what their budget is. They know, you know, what kind of neighborhood they need to be in order to have like a decent commute, if that applies. So there's a focus on getting a job right now, so that whoever this hermit is able to start that new, on their own kind of independent situation. Hey Carrie, how you doing? Ooh, it sounds like you need a break. We've got the Eight of Cups in the reverse and the Five of Wands, with the Queen of Pentacles in the reverse and Temperance. So even though things have been a bit tedious or difficult, you might have felt that you had to battle a lot with somebody you were working with or somebody you felt an obligation to. And I mean, obviously that could be in a relationship or at like a workplace, right? Family. But there was a sense of not being valued. It feels like you just expect me to do everything, or it feels like you don't necessarily appreciate what I contribute to this operation. And it feels to me like I would be better off if I were able to find a place where they do pay me enough, or where I do feel like my partner is pulling their weight as well. There's realization that they've been settling for something that isn't really as good as what they had originally hoped it would be. Hello, Randy. How are you doing? I hope we're not being judgy. Oh, but Marco is. Adios. It's okay, you guys. It's fine if it's not your thing, but I'd appreciate it if you keep the energy positive. You can always just click off if it's not your thing. We've got Strength in the reverse, Three of Pentacles, and again with the Hierophant. I'm going to go ahead and say this is like absolutely confirmation that we're talking about a job search, connecting with people that maybe had been previous work colleagues. Hey, do you have an opening here? Or do you know of anybody that's looking for this? Because I know that where I am currently is just not going to be the next 5 years of my life or the next 10 years of my life. So reaching out to people that may have job opportunities or may know somebody that does, maybe even introducing themselves to employment agencies, negotiating offers, and then addressing the like, where am I going to live? So this is somebody who has like a checklist. They're very serious about starting this new chapter, letting go of the kind of restrictive element that they've been in and focusing on what it would take to make sure that this goes off without a hitch, right? Hello, John. Hello, how's it going, dude? I hope you're having a good day. Hello, Laura. How's it going? So the Six of Swords is in the reverse because you know that in order to be successful or have a victory, it's not going to work out here. But there also could be some impediment or some sort of like block for you to be able to move forward with your plans. So it's really important for you to pay close attention to all of the details. For some of you, this could be like when you're able to get out of your lease, or if you're able to. For some of you, this could be, you know, how long would it take to sell a house, or when are they actually looking to have this position filled? You got to be asking questions around timelines to make sure that things line up, because I do see that there's a risk for someone out there of assuming things will move faster than they actually do and lining up a living situation earlier than they really need to, which could be a bit of a financial burden. This is the situations deck. Hey Dennis, I'll do personal questions at the end, but I would also encourage you to get a little bit of a more specific question. Namely, I think it's great to ask questions on what is blocking you or what you could do to improve the outcome on a situation. Just my personal recommendation. All right, so we've got focused, eyes for you, fascinated, watching, and synchronicities, signs 1111, 222, and 333. So there's this desire to make a change that has been reinforced by the signs that this person is seeing. And for many of you, there is a motivation to move because of love, or because it would make it easier to be around people that make me feel like I'm seen or make me feel like I'm understood. I feel like I can be myself, I can be playful. It could be that somebody is going back to their childhood home or their hometown. We could have somebody who's making a change in terms of where they live because they are expecting a child and they want to have a growing up experience for their child that's similar to what they had. Hello, Intellect Junction. Please don't repeat your comments. Hello, Salvador. How are you doing? Hello, Ruben. Hey, Darnell. How are you doing? What's up, Johnny? So with the bounty hunter and the receipts, I do think that this is somebody who is moving at a pretty quick pace to make sure that they identify all of the details that would enable them to move forward with this new chapter. The issue here is there is a detail that needs to be taken very seriously. So again, make sure that you have a full understanding of all of the rules at play or the things that could potentially cause a delay or an obstacle for you. Hey, Intellect, as I've said, I will do personal questions at the end, but right now I'm doing a general, and I don't always do freebies, okay? So we've got somebody here who feels like they've been stuck, unable to do what they want to do, and identifying all of the things that they need to do in order to be able to move has helped them kind of address that anxiety, because now there seems to be a light at the end of the tunnel, right? Now there seems to be enough of a plan where it seems like maybe this is actually going to happen. Maybe there could actually be a more positive energy to this person if they are in the right location, or if they feel like they're surrounded by people who support them, right? Hello, Selena. How are you doing? We've got the Eight of Wands in the reverse. This is the Tarot of the Cat people, by the way. And the Eight of Wands in the reverse is joined with the Four of Swords. So maybe I just need a little bit of time away from all of the craziness. Maybe I need a little bit more of a slower pace for life, move out of the city, have something that's a little bit calmer, not have to deal with as much traffic. Maybe even somebody wants, a little bit of land, the ability to build a fort in the backyard, that kind of thing. But definitely seeing themselves happier after they move and after they change their job. There is perhaps even a willingness to take a lateral move or even change their career entirely because they don't want to deal with the same race or stress or anxiety. It has taken a toll, and they realize now exactly what it would take for them to not feel like that anymore. We could have somebody who's been dealing with depression, or who has felt like dealing with their current relationship or with their family has put them in a spot where they have to deal with a lot of emotional manipulation, gaslighting, wondering if they're, being a bad sport when really they just have standards or boundaries, right? Thank you, Darnell. Hello, Irma. You're welcome to have that freebie, but this is a politics-free zone, so please limit it to that or I will have to limit it, okay? Hello, Debu. How are you doing today? I think it's technically teal. So we have the Queen of Swords in the reverse and the Eight of Swords. Lots of air energy. Started off with the Magician, but everything else in this row is associated with Libra, Gemini, and Aquarius, which could just mean that we have somebody who's really in their thoughts, mulling over their decisions, making sure that they have got everything sorted and figured out. But this is someone who's very capable. There could be something that gets, forgotten or is a struggle, but I do feel like we've got, for the most part, somebody who knows what they're doing. The issue here is I do feel like with this Queen of Swords in the reverse, we've got somebody who is kind of like talking down on your plans or making you feel like you've made the wrong choice. This is because someone is feeling like when you walk away, you make things more difficult for them. So maybe you've been really helpful with your family and now somebody's going to have to pay for childcare. Maybe you've been taking care of the yard work, and if you move away, they're going to have to do that on their own. There's something here that is inherently like selfish. The reason why they're telling you you shouldn't leave is not going to be the actual reason that they're upset about it. They're going to make it seem more altruistic or more about like what's good for you. But I definitely think that this is relying on you for certain things and not wanting to like pay someone money for that, right? Hello, Dana. How are you doing? Thank you for clarifying, dude. Hello, won't let you down. What's going on? No, maybe like a long time ago, you know, when it was popular. We've got Strength in the reverse, the Page of Pentacles, the Eight of Cups, and the Two of Cups in the reverse, letting us know that there's someone here who has felt like you were not going to be able to make this change. And they want to create some sense of doubt or fear, like, oh, are you sure you can handle that? That seems like a lot of responsibility, or that's really far away. Aren't you going to be nervous to do all of that yourself? Let them talk, that's fine, but you don't have to buy into what they're saying. This is somebody who is thinking about what they want, and maybe they don't know about a love, like a romantic interest that you might have elsewhere in the state or in the country. But I feel like this is someone who has been actually pretty substantial block-wise, making it difficult for you to actually move forward with your own life or make your own decisions. So whether that's an ex or someone in your family, a little distance seems to be what the doctor ordered. We have the Ten of Swords in the reverse, the Fool in the reverse, and the Eight of Swords. They're trying to find a way to keep you stuck. They don't want you to get out of town. They don't want you to start your new life. They want to keep you exactly where you are because it works out better for them. Either because you come over and, you know, like fix the sink when it's leaking, or because you help them pay for groceries, or because they still feel like there's hope for you all to get back together. They don't want to be supportive, and they're going to pretend that they're looking out for you, but they're just looking out for themselves. I think you know this already about this person. They've already shown you a tendency to be a bit self-absorbed or put their needs before yours pretty consistently. So when they give you advice on this opportunity or this plan that you have, remember why you're making this decision. It's because this person's already gotten in your way a few times, and it's about time that you get to live your life the way that you want to without this person interrupting all of that, right? Are you saying that to me, Third Eye? How's it going? Hello, Michael. How are you doing? Hello, Brian. Hello, Salvador. I don't remember if I said hello or not. What else do we have? We've got the Knight of Pentacles, the King of Cups, and the Justice card. Yeah, so it's supposed to happen for you. This change of address, this getting away from someone who likes to be very controlling. This is someone who expects you to do what they need, or expects you to be happy with very little. And I don't know why. Either they benefit from your proximity because you do things for them or you pay for things, or they genuinely just don't want you to have the opportunity to meet somebody new or start a new life because they would be jealous and feel left out. Whatever it is, they're not going to be honest about it. They're going to pretend that it's, you know, oh, I just want to make sure that you're happy. I just want to make sure that you're okay. It just seems like a big, awful, scary place out there, you know, that kind of thing. Hello, Lava. How are you doing? We've got give your relationship a chance. Work on your partnership. Finances and career. Financial issues are a factor in your love life right now. And new love. A new person has stirred your romantic feelings. So because you are willing to work on your finances, things become easier or more doable in terms of this move. But this person is in your ear wanting you to stay, and maybe like literally in a relationship, when there's something telling you that there's a new love out there waiting for you, something else is meant for you. Maybe you've already met this person. Maybe you've got a big old crush on them already. Maybe you still have yet to meet them. But you can't do much when you're stuck around this person who seems to try to like swat away any person who's interested in you, either because of jealousy or just, need to control. So you feel like you've gotten done what you needed to at this place, at this workplace, or where you are. And now there's this opportunity for you to have something more enjoyable. So we have the success card here, things turning up in your favor. And, it's like if you get accepted to the big school that you wanted to get into and your parents don't want you to because it's too far away. Or if you get the, job offer of your dreams. This is saying have confidence in yourself. Someone's going to try to make you doubt whether or not you can pull this off, and you absolutely can. Hey Noodles, how are you doing? That's kind of funny because I sign off most days and say toodles. All right, this is the Sorcerer card. Ambition, determination, willpower, creation, and focus. I've done a lot for other people.